Hello, everybody. Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Hope everyone's okay today. It is Wednesday, and we have some interesting news. It looks as if we are breaking out on PayPal. So, I did add some of that to my small portfolio, and hopefully that will that will prove a good move. We will see. You never know about this, but hey, it's looking fairly good. So just wanted to kind of get into the slides today. As I said before, we have a breakout on PayPal, and that's looking pretty good. So I don't know if this will be the start of something new. I'm hoping it is. But we shall see what's happening on PayPal. And but the general market direction today is up. We've had quite a few days where we've been down, and so this is a good thing that that it's up. We're up about 0.28% or $32. The S&P is up. The Dow Jones is up, and the volume though is a little bit weak. So again, coming into the election, it's kind of a mixed bag. We have Tesla that is reporting today, which is after the bell. So hopefully that will do well. That is kind of where we're at currently. Just to give you a slide for the S&P that was just taken a few minutes ago, we have definitely pulled up. As you can see, there was a bit of a bounce here at the 50-day moving average. It pulled down and then it's bounced up, and then it looks like we've got some good bounce here as well. So that's actually pretty bullish. The only thing that is concerned, a little bit light on the volume. So that's kind of the way it's going. But it's up $1.43. Or 0.43. Now, there is a key level on the spider, and that is about 320. So we're definitely above that. So that is a very good sign going forward. So I hope that continues. Take a look at the Qqq Trust. This is the NASDAQ 100 ETF. It's a very, very large ETF, and it is also pulled up today. This is also very good. The key level on the QQQ is about 280, as you can see. That's where the 50-day moving average has moved. So as long as this is moving in an upward direction, we are doing good. Of course, this is the 50-day moving average, and we do have an upward slope on this. Again, a little bit of the concern here. Fairly weak volume here, so we're not making as much of a as much of a movement up as we definitely like to. But I'll take it because it's great when it's moving up. Now I just want to kind of show you the chart on PayPal. This is a breakout. And as you can see, there's very strong action on it. This is on the small portfolio. I did buy one full position in PayPal today based on this breakout. I think we're still in the buy zone on PayPal on the breakout, 209.02 to 219.47. Now, I do think that we may be going higher on PayPal. This is the reason I'm very optimistic, because this is the kind of stock that would be breaking out if the economy was going to improve. So at least that's what the market is saying. It looks like we may get some resolution here in the impasse. Hopefully on the stimulus. Hopefully that comes out before the election. Now, interesting thing about that, it looks as if next year, and this is a very significant thing, PayPal will allow you to use Bitcoin, and I think this is a very, very interesting thing. If this happens, if you can use Bitcoin and PayPal, I think this really changes the whole thing. And so this is a very significant thing. This is one of the reasons why I think PayPal should do well into if it breaks out, then I think that's a harbinger of some very, very good things that are happening. So I just wanted to be clear on that. Also wanted to show you my portfolio. I did subtract and add a few things. I'm in Taiwan Semi. I'm also in Tesla, of course. As a Tesla bull, it's up quite strongly today, $3. So that's looking good coming into earnings. This seems to be stuck in a trading range from about 420 on up to about 435. So hopefully we shall see what happen with Tesla. But I do think towards the end of the year this should trend up. There is a new buy point on Tesla at 502. So I wanted to be clear on that. A little off on Cloudflare, but I'm still doing well there. Digital Turbine is it's off significantly. Qualcomm is up, which is good. Viva Systems down a little bit. It's quite a high price stock. I did go into lumber liquidators. This is not performing as well as I'd like, and of course there was a breakout on PayPal, so that's looking very good there as well. So let's get in to some of the questions. Let's see. I'm going to take a question from TikTok first. So I'm going to go back to the top of the to the top there. Okay, there we go. Any thoughts on BBBY, Bed Bath and Beyond? So let me take a look at Bed Bath and Beyond. This is a question coming in from TikTok. By the way, if you want to see all the charts and everything, you can definitely do that. Super easy to do. Just go to youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and we're on with everything today. Okay, let's take a look at the chart on Bed Bath & Beyond. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit on this chart. If we can, I'm trying to make that bigger. Okay, is that working? Well, let's see. Okay. So let's see if I can get zoomed in here. So let's take a look at Bed Bath & Beyond. There we go. Hopefully there. I think it's kind of working, but a little bit slower than I like. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's see if I can pan over there. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Well, it did work a little better than I thought it would. So let me see if I can arrange that on the screen here. I'm kind of working with it as it stands. So let's just change that back. All right. Hopefully I can get to that. Oh goodness. Right. All right. Well, it looks as if I cheesed it there. So I'm going to try to get that back. It doesn't look. Let's see if I can show all there. Okay. Well, okay. All right. All right. Well, let's see if we can get back. There we go. Okay. Well, can we see it? Let me get to the. Okay. Sorry about this. This should be much easier. There we go. 175. So hopefully we can pan over and see that on there. So, well, maybe not. Go one more. There we go. Yeah, that gives us a little bit better look there. Okay, so finally, much ado. Thanks for holding on here. And this is Bed Bath & Beyond. This is the chart on Bed Bath & Beyond. Looks like it's pulled back to the 10-day exponential. It's got a 98 rating, which is quite good. Let's take a look at kind of the buying criteria on this. It's got a fairly good checklist, 7 out of 9. Let's look at see if the funds are moving into it. They seem to be pulling back a little bit from this. You know what? I would watch this one. I wouldn't go into this one directly, Bed Bath & Beyond. I think that you're going to have, I think it's a good watch list, but right now, because of the market is very touchy right now. This is one we want to be a little bit careful on and possibly watch list this one. Don't go directly into it. So that's kind of my opinion on Bed Bath & Beyond. Okay, well, Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla just to see how it's trading. Again, it's going to be doing its thing. Okay, it's pulled right to the 21-day moving average. So let's take a look at that. We have a buy point here. This is the 502.49 buy point that I was talking about. We've pulled just slightly below the 21-day exponential. So it seems to be right in this trading range. So it just seems to be kind of just right there, and it's just yep, there we go. Okay, let's see if we can. Well, I didn't get it quite right there. I'm trying to make it so that it's possible to see. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now it's possible to see it. Let's look at the checklist again. Checklist has moved down a little bit, 6 out of 9. Still good enough for me, but not as much as I would like. The earnings per share is down a little bit. We'll see how it does. 38% funds. We do have increasing fund ownership. Very good on that. Fidelity Contra Fund isn't in there. So that's sort of the good housekeeping seal of approval. The volume on Tesla has been very low as of late. So we shall see how it trades after hours. So I should have something out on that. Hopefully I'll have an action trade alert on it this week to see how to trade it in this month. Sell Apple before new iPhone release or before earnings? Wow, that's just a good question. I think that, right now with the market the way it is, I don't know, and this could be a very bad call, but I don't think you necessarily want to hold into earnings. I just, I think with earnings basically in 8 days, it seems to be pulling back to the 21-day exponential. Now, I think there's a little bit of risk here, and so this is why I would recommend possibly selling it. And the reason I do is because we have this short-term decline in the stock, and it may pull back. I mean, it could pull back all the way down to this consolidation line at 130. It could pull back all the way to 103. So I would probably sell it because I do think that it can potentially pull all the way back to this consolidation line. So I'd be a little bit cautious. I'd take a little bit of risk off right now with Apple. I just would. Let's look at a buying point on Apple. On Amazon. Excuse me. See if I can put that out there for everybody. AMZN is the symbol on that. Amazon. The last buy point on Amazon basically was on a flat base at 33.44.29. It's trading below that right now. So, the question is, do you want to buy it here and possibly have it reversed? The problem right now is I'm seeing a trend, and that trend, it may go higher. There's a cup with handle formation, which is very good, but I think we probably want to see if this reverses. If we start moving higher, now we're off $26 today. We're off $26. So if this reverses higher, and right now it's not, it's moving lower. If this reverses higher after earnings, I think this is a buy. But right now you want to watch list this one. And what I would do is I would try to set an alert, and I would set an alert basically right about at the 31.98 level to see if it pulls above that level, 31.98, on strong volume, then I think you want to buy it. But right now, I think it's pulling lower, and it looks like it's pulling below the 40-day. Now, these could be very good buying situations when there's a pullback and there's a reversal. But right now, we don't have the reversal. So be careful in buying this at this level. Being careful because it may go lower, but I do think it probably will reverse higher eventually. But we don't want to buy it. We want to buy it on the reversal and not when it's continuing to go down, because we want to make sure that we have a good reversal on it before we buy it. So that's the thing. Tesla, hold or sell before earnings. Well, what I have seen with Tesla, and of course, you probably only have a few more minutes to do this. If you're going to sell it, I do think I always think it's a good idea if you don't have options on it to sell it into earnings and then buy it back. But I could be very, very wrong on that. It looks as if with Tesla, it's sort of been a different situation than with Apple. It seems as if with Tesla, anyways, it seems to be more. It seems to have settled more. So what I would do on this is be careful. I would be careful on this because I do think that it will move higher. So I would not sell this into earnings, which is unusual for me because usually I do recommend selling into earnings. I don't think it's the case this time with this issue. So that's where I'm at on that. 1 second, let me see if I can. Oops. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. That should be a little bit better picture here. I'm having a little issues on that. Okay, there we go. Okay, there I'm back, and hopefully this will be a better picture on that. I'm trying to adjust the settings a little bit here. I need a producer here, but there we go. Okay, so that should be a little bit easier to see me now with that. Okay, so sell before the earnings. Well, I think you don't want to sell Tesla before the earnings. That's just my take on it. Any thoughts about Workhorse and Kodak? Let's look at Workhorse right now, and that is WKHS. We do get a lot of questions on Workhorse. It seems to be. Let's see if we can find that. You know what? It still has a relative strength of 99, but it's been pulling back. It's been pulling back, and it's fallen below average. I would be a little bit careful here. I think you want to start trying to protect your position. The checklist is still 6 out of 9, so that's good. We do have increasing fund ownership. The question is it time to move out of this? Let's look at the weekly. It seems it's still in a consolidation range. If this thing falls below 14, I would sell it, but I think I would hang on to it for right now. That's how I'm looking at it. I would not put any more positions in this. Okay, so let's look at from TikTok. So let's go to some questions on Tesla. All right, let's see. Tesla, we covered that. Nucor Steel, interesting. Okay. Do you think we should sell Facebook or wait for the earnings report? Well, that is a good question. On Facebook, let's put Facebook up. Let's look at the chart for Facebook before I say anything on that. And this is the Facebook chart currently. It's in a consolidated range, so it seems to be moving up before earnings. Wow, I don't know. This one is a very tough call on this. How are we looking? We're looking pretty strong. I think I would sell this one into, it's up $13. You know what? I would sell this. I would sell this, I would wait until the earnings, and I would sell this one. I would definitely sell this one into the earnings and then see what happens to see if it moves, it moves higher or not. So that's how I would look at it. I would sell it into the into the earnings. That's what I would do. So I would sell Facebook probably before earnings. What about Kodak? I haven't done a lot with Kodak. Of course, this used to be a Dow stock until it went bankrupt, and then it was rejiggered. I'm just not that keen on this company, even though I do think it's come back a lot. I'm just not that keen on it. I don't like this chart very much, even though it does have a relative strength of 99. I just can't get excited about Kodak. I think you possibly maybe want to wait on Kodak. I just don't see it as a potentially very good situation right now with Kodak. Okay, sell before the election. Yeah, you know what? Right now, it's tough to figure out what's going to go on with the election. But I think selling before the election is not a bad idea, by the way. It's going to be close. It looks as if, with the tracking poll, it looks as if Trump is closing the gap a little bit, but Biden is still out in front. So, if Biden wins, It's likely to be very bullish for the healthcare stocks, like United Health. That might be that binary, but right now it looks as if Trump is closing. So I don't think you should count him out. I really don't. Okay, so this is an interesting company, Voxart, and it's got a very high relative strength. So let's take a look at that VXRT. This I'm thinking about putting on the watch list here. It's a very hard stock to trade. It's almost trades like a penny stock, but it does have a lot of power. It's pulled back today. It looks like it's going to pull back to the 200-day moving average, but it still has a relative strength of 99. Very tough stock to trade. It does have increasing phone ownership, and it does have a fairly good checklist, 6 out of 9. So I like that. It's just not set up very well. I wouldn't go into this stock. I just wouldn't go into the stock. I just don't think it's set up well enough. But you might want to watch list it. Let's see if we can get. There was a question on the chat here from TikTok. BIOC. Let's take a look at BIOC really quickly. See if I can bring that up here. BIOC. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, I cannot project onto this green screen on TikTok, but I am running the charts on this on YouTube. So just super easy. Just go over to YouTube, youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor, and you will be right with that. Okay, this is a tumor cell biotech. It's $4.52. It's off 18 cents. I just don't think you can buy this one. It just doesn't look like a very good chart. Let me show you why that's true. You have a downward sloping line. This is the 200-day moving average. I don't like that. Even though it did have a consolidation here, it's got a relative strength of 17. I just can't be excited about this. The checklist doesn't work either. It's only 4 out of 9. There is some fund sponsorships, but it's very, very, very thin. I don't recommend Biocept Incorporated. I just don't think it's a good company right now. Now, it may change in the future, but right now I don't think you can buy it. I do not think you can buy this one. Update on NEO. What's the buy point on NEO? Let's see if I can get some information for you on NEO. Now, NEO has done quite well, actually, and there are funds that are actually buying this one. So, this is, normally I am not as psyched on the Chinese companies, but this has just done very well. It's pulled back a little bit today, 59 cents. So where's the buy point on NEO? Let's look. There really isn't a buy point on NEO. It's really going to be on the 21-day exponential. You could buy it at this level. I would like to see a reversal, though, before I bought it. This is very speculative. There are a lot of funds in it, and it's got an excellent checklist. The question is, and it's had some strong buying activity. It's pulling back a little bit today. It's giving up a little bit of its gains, but if this thing pulled back to about the 26 level, I think you could possibly buy it off of the 21-day exponential. So that's kind of where that's at. NEO doesn't really have a buy point right now. The only real place you can buy it is off of one of the moving averages. And what do I mean by that when I say buy it off the moving average? Well, if a stock hasn't formed a base, the best pattern to buy on is a base pattern, which is a cup with handle, that kind of thing. But if you can't buy off a base pattern, sometimes if a stock is moving up very quickly, it doesn't necessarily have a base pattern. So where's the next place to buy? Typically, that's going to be on the 50-day line or the 21-day exponential line. That's going to be a place that you can buy it if it's just moving straight up that line. But the thing about it, if you do buy off a secondary buy point like an average like that, you have to be careful because if it loses that slope, it can pull back, and it can pull back much harder than typically if it's bought on a standard chart pattern like a cup with handle. So it's a little bit more risky to buy off the exponential moving average, and that's why it's considered a secondary buy point and not a primary buy point. So unfortunately, I've said a lot here, not said a lot, but I just don't think you can buy it at this level. I think you've got to be careful about NEO. I'd like to see NEO settle down a little bit, form a base pattern, and then I think it's going to be a little bit better. But I would, right now I think it's time to watch list Neo, not buy it, watch list it. Thoughts on 4? Let's look at 4, FOUR. See if we get that, FOUR. And let me see if that's, Shift for Payments. I like this one, actually. Interesting company, Allentown, PA. Nice. It's down a little bit today, but there's a buy point on this. Wow, I do like this one. I do like this one. I have to admit. This is the kind of stock that is kind of a sleeper out there. But I like the payments area, and this is one of the reasons why PayPal. I'm so bullish on PayPal, and I did put it in the small portfolio today because of that. The payments area is starting to pick up. This is a fairly new stock. It's only been around a little bit less than 3 weeks. 3 months, excuse me, not 3 weeks. And it does have earnings in 15 days. I wouldn't buy it into earnings. I'd wait to see what happens, but there is a buy point on it at 58.20. So let me put that out there for FOUR buy point equals 54. 56.20, and that's a cup pattern. I'll put that out there on the chat. What is equal to 56, 56, there we go, come on, 56.20, there we go. And that's a cup. There we go, 20, all right. All right, so I'm going to put that out there on the chat for 4. I don't recommend buying it right now, but it is a watch list. So very good. Okay, so the question is on PayPal, and let's look at the PayPal chart, the live chart. PYPL is the symbol for PayPal. So we're going to pull it back to the PayPal chart here. Hopefully you can see this. I've been trying to get this better so that you can actually see this a little bit better, the chart. But it is right at the buy point right now on a cup. The pivot on this is 212.45. It's a 213. It's buyable right now. Let's look at the daily chart on it. I did buy this on the small portfolio, but it's definitely in a buy range right now, and there's been strong buying on it. So this is one, if you have a chance, if you do have extra room in your portfolio, I think now is a very, very good time to be buying PayPal. I think it is, and I will show you kind of where I'm at in terms of the small portfolio. This is a small portfolio, by the way. That I did show. Now, hopefully, you can read this. I have to move the sizing up here a little bit, just so you can see it. There we go. Definitely bought a PayPal. I bought in at 210. As you can see, that filled out my last cash position, and it is still. If we go down here to the watch list. It is in the calculated buy zone right now. Calculated buy zone up to 215. So highly recommend possibly, if you can, moving into PayPal right now. It's looking, the chart pattern is very, very good for PayPal. So this is something that you possibly want to be looking at possibly buying. Now JD.com is also excellent. Of course, this is one of the largest. This is one of the largest e-commerce sites in China, and along with Alibaba, it's one of the best. There definitely is a buy on this one too. So you've picked 2 really good ones. I made the choice to go with PayPal. It's a little bit more conservative position, but this is definitely coming up into a buy point. The buy point with a cup and handle on this one is 85.39. It's at 82. So I'm going to put the buy point on JD. So the JD buy point is equal to, let me get you this exactly, on this cup, 85.39. 85.39, it's with a cup formation. Let's see. Okay. 89. 85.39, excuse me. 85.39, and that's a cup formation. So I'm going to put that out there right now in the chat. And by the way, if you're watching on TikTok, I am showing all the charts and everything and the buy points on stocks that are breaking out. You can see this very easily. All you have to do is go to www.DallasTradingFloor/ and click on the YouTube tab, and on the YouTube tab that would have a simulcast of exactly where we're going right now. So let me just show this for everybody out there on on YouTube that's watching now, but you can see past episodes on this just by going to the website. This is how the website looks, the Dallas Trading Floor website. Go down here to where it says YouTube, and then it's going to come up with the current videos as they're running now. So currently, this is going to be the top one. As you can see, it's red there because we are currently live with this one, and that is the PayPal breakout on the October 21st. So that's where you also can if you need to quickly get to the video, you can jump over to www.DallasTradingFloor, hit the YouTube tab, and then we have all the current YouTube's up there, as well as the simulcast. So that's a way to go on that. With Tesla earnings today, has the past trend been the stock price increases after a positive announcement, or is there a sell-off? Right, boy, this is a great question, Byron. Thank you for bringing this up. The typical way it works with earnings, and this seems like it's so weird, but typically, and I'll show you this on the chart, typically when you go into earnings, even if you have good news, it will fall after the earnings. And I want to kind of show you this chart to show you how that kind of works. And I'm going to put my little mug up there. There we go. Okay, as you can see, in the prior, these have been prior earnings. So for instance, here we go. This is the last earnings. It was up 300%, but it fell. It fell. So typically, the trend is it's going to fall back to the 21-day exponential line. Let's take a look at the first quarter in 2020. Let's see what happened there. Well, it did. It was up. The earnings per share were up 140%, but yet it fell again. So I do kind of expect this to fall right after earnings. But then it's been, at least for Tesla, it has typically stabilized and then moved higher. So now the question is, what's happening now? Well, right now it's 422, and it's up just 70 cents. So it's almost right at the 21-day exponential. I don't expect there to be much change even if they announce a very good number, because it's right on the 21-day exponential. That seems to be where it goes. So that is an excellent question. Now, with other stocks, typically that is what happens. 80% of the time, coming into earnings, you do see these pullbacks. So that's something to be very, very concerned about if you've bought in on the late stage. This is one of the reasons why I recommend coming in on a base, a very, very strong base, like a cup with handle in a buy point, because typically what will happen is, even if the stock is doing really well, if you buy at that base level and it moves up, at earnings it'll typically pull back, but it typically will not pull back below where you bought it on the base pattern. So that's why I'm it seems like you come on the show and I'm obsessed with these buy points. That's the reason. Typically, a stock, even doing well, will move up into earnings and then it will pull back. So there are two ways to do this. Basically, own the stock into earnings, sell it before earnings, and then buy it back on the other side. Or if you're going to hold it through, you probably want to buy it at a very more stable area, like a base pattern. So that's the reason I talk about that all the time. Any thoughts on Highland, HYLN? Let's see if I can pull this up here and give you some information on that one. HYLN is the symbol, and that's Highland Holdings. This is a electrified powertrain company, and it does have Everything is going electric, so this is definitely a trend. It's got a relative strength of 95. I really, really like this. There are some things. Let's look at the weekly chart to see the general trend. Always, when you're looking at charts, the best thing to do is to start with the weekly chart. Now, unfortunately, by starting with that weekly chart, I'm seeing a downward trend. I would not buy this, even though it has a 95 relative strength. You typically want to buy on strength going higher. That's not the case with this, and I think you want to be very, very careful if you're going into this. It only has a 4 out of 9 buying criteria. Now let's see what Warren Buffett would say about this stock. Well, he doesn't even like it. He likes it even less than William O'Neill does. So I just don't think you can buy this one. I think you want to be very, very careful on this one. I don't think this is a buyable stock at this point. It's got a bad trend, and so there you go. Okay, are you selling Tesla tonight? Well, I should be selling Tesla. I should be selling Tesla. That you're definitely right about that. I probably will not, and here's why. You say, why don't you eat your own dog food on this one? Well, I'll tell you why. The main reason here is that I have sold options against these. I have call options against these. So even if the stock moves lower, which I kind of do expect, my options will move higher based on the fact that I've sold them. So that is the only reason I am not selling into earnings. Now, if I didn't have these as covered calls, I didn't cover them essentially with a call option, I would sell them into earnings. But on both of my positions in my large portfolio, now not in the small portfolio. In the small portfolio, I have it naked I just have a stop loss on it. That's all I have, and I don't have an option that protects it as well. But on my other portfolios, I have these as options where I have them protected. So in my case, I am probably not selling into earnings. And this is unusual for me because of the fact that they're covered calls. So that's a long way of saying I'm not saying it. I'm not doing it. It's sort of like, and then you say, well, wait a minute, you sold me to sell into earnings. Aren't you eating your own dog food? Well, I sort of am because of the call that I have sold. So that's a way of protecting yourself if you could buy enough shares. With Tesla, I've been buying them in my other portfolios in 100 lots. So, and unfortunately, that's a little bit expensive to do that, to buy 100 lot and then sell an option on it. But that's how I've been doing it. So that's my answer. I'm sticking to it. So we'll see how it does. Are you selling apps? Oh yeah, I'm probably going to be. Apps is definitely on the chopping block. There's no question about it. Thank you, Lucian. That's definitely on the chopping block. I'm going to see right now. I only have apps in the small portfolio, and it has not been performing as well as I liked. It's pulled below the 21-day moving average, and it looks like we're going to have earnings in 8 days. I'm probably going to be selling. This if it continues on this path, because it just and this is the danger of buying off of an exponential moving average as opposed to a base. I didn't buy this off the base. I bought this off the 21-day. So I probably will be selling apps. And so you can see let's see where my buy points were on this one, because I don't remember them offhand. But I do have a full position in the small portfolio on apps, which is right here, Digital Turbine. I bought it on the 18th, only 18 shares, but it has not been performing nearly as well as I'd like it to. Its current price is 34. I bought it at 39. This is probably gone very, very soon. From my portfolio, and let's look at it's down 14%. This is probably going to be out. I may have already kicked over on the stop loss. I think I probably have, and I think I'm probably out of this one. So it's just one of those things. Sometimes that's why you set the stop losses, because you just can't always get it right, and I do think I'm probably going to be stopped out of that one. I definitely think I'm going to be stopped out of them. But that's a great question, Lucian. I appreciate it very, very much. Let me see if we can take another one from TikTok. Let's see. Options. Okay. Okay. Are you Jim Malone? I am Jim Malone, actually. Thank you for asking. What's the name? I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Bro, you're nuts to think Tesla is trash. I don't think Tesla is trash at all. I think it's great. I think it's a great stock. I am very much of a Tesla bull. So, oh, okay. I guess you're talking to somebody else on the chat. Yeah. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. I'll just pull up the I'll just pull up the chat here on that, so you can actually see what I'm talking about here on the on the Tesla chat here. So here's the chat. Let me pull that away. I think you can see it. Let me see. Yeah, valuation of Tesla is higher. Okay, let's see. Okay, my valuation is higher than Elon's. Well, that's probably true. GM is trash with their new Hummer. I agree with you. I do agree with you about the Hummer. So that is definitely true. By the way, if this is the live feed on the TikTok video that I'm simulcasting on as well. So that's this address at JK Malone. But if you want to see all the charts, basically go to go to the YouTube at youtube.com/Untitled. So I'm going to look at ARR as another one. So let's look at ARR, because that was a request from somebody on TikTok. Unfortunately, I didn't get the name. Armor Residential REIT. Interesting. Okay, well, Armor Residential REIT. Let's see if I can bring that one up as well. So this is Armor Residential REIT, and this is a terrible one. ARR. I just wouldn't want to be in this one. It looks as if they do have earnings due today. Even though this is residential, I just don't think you want to be in this stock. So let me take a look. Yeah, it's 4 out of 9. I wouldn't. That's bad. Let's look at what Warren Buffett would say. Warren Buffett even hates it more. Well, let's see what Peter Lynch would say. He hates it too. So I can't recommend this on anybody. This just doesn't. The criteria here just aren't that good. It does have increasing fund ownership, but I think you want to run away from this one. Even though it's pulling back, it's still below the 200-day moving average, and I just don't think you're going to be happy with this stock. So I don't think you want it. I don't think you want it. Sell Tesla, buy after earnings. Yeah, I think that's great. I do. I agree with you, Adrian's Visual. I think that's right. I think you're right. That is the way I think you want to trade it. You want to sell it into earnings, see what happens. There's going to be probably a correction to the downward side on Tesla as it announces, and then tomorrow it's going to trade lower, but then it's going to pop right back up. So that's a good way that you possibly can make some quick money. I think that's a great idea. Sell everything. Well, I don't know if I go that far. Tesla will be dropping as the market closes. I think I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you on that as well. Perspective on JMIA. So let's look at JMIA. And let's see. Jomatic, interesting. In Germany, it's a German-based company that produces e-commerce services to Africa. Okay, I've heard of this one. Don't know a whole lot about it, but I have heard about this one. So let's look. Well, this is a $15 stock. Okay, very strong relative strength at 98. This is probably making a lot of profit. Earnings per share rating is 47. Let's see if anybody's buying this thing. The checklist it's good. Actually, it's quite good. Well, it's good enough. Funds are 20% in this one. This is interesting. No real buy point on this one. But you know what? This is a watch list. Definitely, this is a watch list. There's been some strong buying. So I can't count this one out. This is definitely a watch list. Stock, let me put that down on my list. And this is JMIA. So interesting stock. Very, very interesting. Thank you for that, for sharing that. I wouldn't buy that right now, but I would watch list that, because it does look like it's gaining some strength. And that's my opinion on it. Please advise on car. Oh, goodness. This is Avis. And as we know, the travel and leisure business has been hurt a lot because it's just everybody is not traveling as much. But because they're cars, a lot of people that there is a lot of demand for rental cars in like the New York metro area. It has just reached a buy point, believe it or not, on a cup base at $36.96. It's up $5 today, which is very, very strong. So, gosh, you know what? This might actually be a buy. It's got a relative strength of 92. Let's look at the fund ownership. Wow. Okay. Well, it doesn't have. It's a weaker than I normally like to buy them. It's only 5 out of 8 on the checklist. We do have increasing fund ownership, which is good. You know what? This is actually. I wouldn't buy this with a full position. I would buy this with a half position, but it appears to be buyable if it can hold this 36.96. So let me put that out there on the chat. CAR buy point on cup pattern equals, and let me make sure I've got the exact number there for everybody. 36.96. Interesting. 36.96. So put that out there for everybody on the chat. By the way, if you were watching on if you're watching on TikTok, you can just go right over to the to youtube.com/SalesTradingFloor, and that will allow you to see all of this stuff, and also the chat that everybody that is coming in. I have the ability to broadcast the chat from TikTok, but not simultaneously with all the other chats. So that's sort of been my situation. So let's take a look to see if there's a question that I can answer on the TikTok chat. Thoughts on EXPI? Let's look at EXPI. Let's see, EXPI, and to see if we've got anything there. There's interesting. Bellingham real estate brokerage. Interesting. Is this? I wonder. Is this? Okay. For the residential real estate market, 99 relative strength. It's pulled back significantly today. Wow. Okay. So interesting. So this is like Century 21. Small checklist. This isn't bad actually. Not a lot of fund ownership in this. I just don't know about this. Acquired the assets of Showcase IDX, a real estate search technology company. So it's off. Okay, I think that right now the last buy point on this was $12.15. It's currently at $48.08. It's very extended. This may pull back this may pull back, but this is a tough one to buy right now. There's not a lot of protection if you buy it. You could possibly buy it at the 21-day, at the 50-day exponential, but I don't think I would buy this one right now. There is a potential buy at 44.09. I just want to see if it holds at that level. I would be a little bit careful about buying this one at this time, just because it's a little bit extended from its buy point of about $15. All right, so let's see. Thoughts on Datadog, DOG. This has been a high flyer. DOG. Let's see if we have Datadog. Okay, it's pulled back. It's right in the buy zone again. It's pulled back to the buy zone. Interesting. It looks like we're going to have earnings in 20 days, but there is some selling going on here. The buy point on this one is 98.99. It's currently at 102. Would I buy it at this level? Well, I don't think if this reverses, you might have a buy here, but I would be very careful buying this one. It looks like it's broken the trend line, and it looks like it's headed lower. I hate to tell you this, but it looks like Datadog is broken trend and headed lower. So that's kind of my take on it. DDOG has broken and may go lower. So I'm going to put that out there on the chat. I definitely think that's what happened. It's off $10.19. It has broken the trend line, which is the 21-day exponential. This is probably moving lower. So if you do have this, you might want to protect your position. You might want to sell and wait to see if it regains strength. But I think with Datadog, you got to be careful that it doesn't look good on Datadog. Thoughts on Zoom? Let's look at Zoom. Another very high-flying stock. It's just done tremendous in the last, basically in the last 6 months. This has just been a killer. This is not broken trend. This is still definitely on trend. So this is a different story with this. It's pulled right back to the 21-day exponential. Is there a buy point on this? Not really. The last buy point on this was way back in June at 107. It's triple. It's up 5 times since then. So I don't think you can really buy it at this level. It would be really hard to buy it, really dangerous to buy it at this level. But it is holding right to the 21-day exponential. So if you're in this, I would stay in this. I would stay in Zoom if you're in it. Would I enter at this point? I don't think so. I think you want to wait for a base pattern on this. I'm not saying don't buy it, but I don't think right now there's really no place to buy this, unfortunately. So I wouldn't buy it at this level. I would wait for a base pattern to develop it. It's got a 100% checklist. It's an excellent company, and I would just be a little bit. I just wouldn't feel comfortable buying it at this level. There's just really isn't anything. That said, it looks like it's continuing this march right up to 21-day exponential. So it's sort of a good news, bad news story. It's a good news story if you're in it and you've been in it since June. It's up 5 times. I mean, you've done just phenomenal. But I don't think at this point it's going to be tough to buy it at this level. I just think it's too difficult to buy it. Okay, what do you think PayPal? What do you think PayPal will go up? Okay, that's a really good question. Let's look at PayPal. PayPal is much more widely held than a lot of these other stocks. It's been around a long time. Where do you think PayPal is going? So let's look at to see kind of where I think PayPal is going. It was up tremendously today. It broke out today. It's currently at 213.07, up $8.62, or about 4%. So that's very, very good. Let's go to the daily chart to see if we can see a slope on this thing. Not really, but I do believe it's likely. Let's look at the weekly chart to see if we can do some prognostication here. And I'm gonna try to draw a trend line here from the bottom of here. And yeah, I think this could go a lot higher. The way I'm looking at this thing, I think that by December, this could easily be in the 230, 240 range, easily, based on this. So, that's where I'm looking at PayPal. I may, if it continues to show strength, I may be selling some of my other positions in the small portfolio and doubling down on this because I am seeing a very good chart pattern on PayPal right now. I think it's got a 93 relative strength. It's got a 100% checklist, and it's got increasing fund ownership. Plus, they announced that they're going to handle Bitcoin in the next year. I think what's not to like on this one. I'm probably going to be moving more. I'm probably going to be moving money into PayPal based on what I'm seeing here. So it's very bullish in my humble opinion. Okay, so let's look at on the chat. Okay, what do you do? Oh, what should I do if I bought at 586 on Zoom? Let me look. Okay, this is a question for somebody on TikTok. ZM. Let me just see if I can give you 586. Wow. Boy, you know what? I think you want to possibly, I don't think you want to sell it, but, I would set the stop loss at about 500. And if it moves below that, you want to get blown out. So if you're at 586, that's a little bit high. I do think it may retake that, but, it looks like it's pulled right back to the 21-day moving average. I would set a stop loss immediately on that at about, well, you can't really even set it at 8% down. I'd set a stop loss at about at about 500. I don't think it's time to dump it yet, but I don't think you can withstand very much more loss at that price. I think that's that's not a good place to buy it at. That's why you want to be very careful when you buy. That's why you want to buy off of strong chart patterns and not buy it when it's moved too far above the 21-day exponential. It can pull back, and it's just tough. Okay, should I sell Tesla? Bought in at 436. Thanks. No, Arnold. I don't think you should. I don't think you should sell Tesla if you're at 436. I do not think you should sell it at that level. I think you're going to see it pull back, but what I'm looking at this chart, I think you're going to see some stability right at about the 419 level. I think that there's a base there, and I do think it's going higher. And I think by November, by the end of November, early December, I think we're looking at in the 500s for it. That's what I'm looking for. Bed Bath and Beyond, BBBY, that just came up on the chat. BBBY, and that's Bed Bath and Beyond. Wow, look at that! It's pulled back to the 21-day exponential. Can we buy this thing? Wow, 24.44, 98 relative strength. You know what? This is not bad. It's gotten free. It's decreasing fund ownership. I'm not really into retail that much, but it's got a good chart, and it's 7 out of 9. Look at the ownership. Yeah. You know what? I don't know if I would buy it right at this level. There really isn't a base pattern, but this is definitely a watch list. I'm going to put it in BBBY. Thank you very much for that. They're going into their strongest. They're going into their strongest quarter here. So we'll see how it goes from here. So interesting. Bed Bath and Beyond. I wouldn't buy it. I would watch list this one. I may be watch listing Bed Bath and Beyond. So let's see. Zoom is pulling down. Should I sell or hold the position? You know what? Here's the thing about Zoom. I think it's going to pull back. If you're down more than 7 or 8%, you might want to consider selling at this point and waiting until it pulls back and then moves up. I'm not saying that you should totally get out of Zoom, but if you've got profits in Zoom, I think you want to protect them now. If you're up 20% or so in Zoom, I think you want to sell it. Take the profits, wait. I think it's going to pull back, and then you possibly get back in it. But right now, I think that if you might want to protect your profits. Thanks for the question. Netflix. Let's take a look on Netflix. NFLX is the symbol for Netflix, of course, and this is the ultimate stay-at-home stock. And I've done extremely well with this, but it is pulled back and it's in a consolidation range. So let me show you how that's setting up with Netflix. Basically, right now, let's look at the daily pattern chart to see if we're definitely below the 50-day. It's 88. There's a lot of selling going on in Netflix. I think if you have profits in it, you might want to sell it. It did. Yeah, this is your typical. This is very interesting chart here. I want everyone to see this because this shows why it's dangerous sometimes to hold even really the very best stocks in earnings. Netflix is a very good stock, but as you can see, even though they had an increase in earnings, 18%, it's still pulled back. This is typically what happens when it goes through earnings. It's basically buying rumor, selling news. So, it's going to pull back a little bit, but I think then it will reaccelerate. But that's the one thing. That's why you want to be very careful with earnings dates, and I should emphasize this more on my watch list. Well, I have come almost to an hour here, and I just want to show you a few more things before I leave today. If you are watching on these, if you're watching on on TikTok, you can get on my on the Action Trailer. It's super easy to do. All you do is you go to my profile, hit the link, and you'll be directed right to a sign-up page. And of course, it's totally free. And if you're on YouTube or Periscope or Twitch or Facebook, super easy to get on the the trade alerts list. All you have to do is go to the website www.Dallas Trading Floor, and it's right there on Dallas Trading Floor. So I will put some of the contact information up so that you can see that on the on the thing. So I'm on every day at 2:30 to 3:30 if I can make all the equipment work. This is the numbers and the information, and I hope to see you tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow at 2:30, and hopefully I'll be able to get to all your questions. But thanks for tuning in, and if you are on YouTube, please smash and like me on YouTube. It really helps a lot for me. So I will, without further ado, I will bid you adieu for today.